Hey guys, Harket here from Car India Magazine, and today I'm with Jatin Ahuja, who is, of course, the founder of Big Boy Toys. If you don't know what BBT is, they're the biggest, most insane luxury car and exotic car marketplace, and they specialize in pre owned luxury and exotic cars. So, Jatin, thank you so much for joining us today. It's great to have you here.
It's a pleasure, sir. It's a pleasure. Thank you for the lovely
So,
introduction.
how have you been dealing with the lockdown? How is that going? Everything okay? Family all good?
Everything is brilliant, sir. We are enjoying the holidays.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. That's a great way to look at it. So,
Ji.
moving on to the Big Boy Toys story, I wanted to start off with how did the inspiration to start this company strike? Where did the idea come from? How did it all begin? How did the journey begin?
So this is purely passion converted into business, and supercars or big cars is every boy's dream to buy one, own one. And we thought, let's get into this business. Yeah. So I was very, very passionate about cars, and my father let me pursue my passion and convert it into my profession. Yeah. So that's how it began.
Sounds amazing. And I think everybody who's watching this, who follows places like Car India, is in the same situation and the same mindset as you about being passionate about cars. So I think people can really relate to that. So that's fantastic to hear because I think we all feel that way. So, next question was, were there any cars that kind of, when you were young growing up, where this passion was being cultivated? Was there a specific model or specific models that you maybe had on your bedroom wall as a poster or something that ignited this spark? Anything you can think of in that sense?
Right. So with me, my journey or my dream, I've always broken the dream into pieces. So what I do is my biggest dream when I was in school was a Lancer SFX, a yellow or a red. So
Nice.
a dream which is achievable gives you more motivation. Yeah. So first it was a Lancer. Then the next target was a Honda Accord, and that too the Type 1 shape is what I'm talking
Hmm.
about, so that I can afford it. Because I
Right.
knew that if I have a target of probably the latest one, it'll
Hmm.
take me a lot of time to reach there. So I thought, let me first go to the Honda Accord Type 1 and then go to the next one. And then sooner or later, gradually we upgraded. And my biggest dream was buying an S Class, probably at the age of 45. I'll collect enough money and save enough money to buy an S Class. Yeah. I'm glad वो 45 तक नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि तब S Class 68 lakhs की आती थी. और
Huh.
अब पता चला when I'll turn 45, तो तब तक 40 मतलब 68 lakhs में C class ही आएगी.
Oh yeah,
God
prices have
is,
gone up,
yeah,
which is
God
expected,
has
I guess. But
absolutely, sir. God has been kind. जो सपना 45 years की age का था वो 21 में पूरा हो गया. So just been working hard towards achieving more. Yeah.
that's fantastic. That's so awesome. I think I'll move on to my next question. So we know, like, there are a lot of us, like you said, you had incremental goals and incremental, ideals to get to. But what was the pull of the luxury space, or the exotic car space? Why that in particular? Because it's not something that we've really seen before BBT came along, at least on the scale that you're doing it at. What is the attraction from that specific genre of the automotive space?
See, the whole idea is if you do something, you always want to do the best. Yeah. So that has always been the philosophy. So we did not think about doing exactly what we are doing right now, but we sooner or later upgraded to the next level, then the next level, then the next level. So probably once when the hypercars start coming into the country, you would see half a dozen hypercars at Big Boy Toys as well. Yeah. But
Hmm.
it is still 10 years away from wherever we are because of the duty structure and everything, but definitely, yeah. So probably the decade starting from 2030 onwards, 40 is what I feel, where you'll see a lot of hypercars as well. So you keep upgrading, you keep learning, and you want the best for your organization, for yourself. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's what had got BBT into the picture with the cars we are selling. Yeah.
Right. So, since you mentioned the start and how this wasn't exactly the space you were looking at when you started out, but that's how it got to. Tell me, how did it start? I hear that it started with a very small loan from your dad and just a big dream. Can you elaborate a little bit on that story, maybe?
So, when I was in first year of my college, I took 70,000 rupees was the first investment. I bought a Fiat Palio, which was an accidental car, to repair it and then sell it to make little money. And it was kind of a college project as well. I'm a mechanical engineer, minus one exam. I've still not cleared my basic electronics. So first year of college, I started working just with a typical mindset that I would not take anything from the family. So whatever's there is in the West, we try always, because eventually has to come to our country as well. So you've always been hearing kids, they become self-sufficient at the age of 18. So that was the whole idea. So let me not take money from my pocket money from my dad, and let me start the business. And so it was first of all that thing in mind, and then we started. So this was the year 2003. Started with a Palio. Then I bought a Tata Indica, again an accidental car, to repair it. So those two investments were total loss investments. So we invested almost 6 lakhs by the end of repairing. So 70,000 was the Palio, and it costed me almost 2 lakhs to repair that car. Yeah. And I eventually sold it for 1 lakh. 2,70,000 was the investment, and it was a loss of 1,70,000. I decided आज के बाद मैं कुछ भी करूँगा, मैं गाड़ियाँ नहीं बेचूँगा. So that's what I decided after that. But God has been kind. उसके बाद लगा कि नहीं यार, करते हैं और मेहनत करते हैं. But that Palio gave us a lot of exposure towards hard work, towards how the market functions. And then people started contacting us, and then we started. And then next transaction was a profit, again profit. And then we bought an S-Class in the year 2005, which was flood damaged in Bombay. 26th of July, 25th, 26th July 2005 में Bombay में flood आया था. So we eventually ended up buying one S-Class, repaired that, and sold that car. And then eventually we bought almost 17 S-Classes, one after the other. And there were total 18 S-Classes which were flooded underwater. So our target was always the S-Class first, and later on the E-Class or the C-Class. We were never focused on C-Class. So that led because it was a dream. S-Class was a dream. So we never concentrated on the smaller segment. So ever since I was 20, the focus was clear. I want to focus on the best product which is available in the market. So after that, we started importing cars in the year 2007. We had imported more Toyota Land Cruisers than Toyota India. We were the first ones to import a Porsche Panamera. Then the first BMW X6 was imported by us. The first Infiniti FX was imported by us, and a couple of more cars. So imports was going great. But again, after 2000, this was 2007, April 11, we were big time into imports, and all brand new 0-kilometer cars. But in the year, after 1.5 years, in the year 2009, we realized that whatever money we are making on new cars, we lose the same money, we lose probably more money in a part exchange. So whenever you sell a new car, you have to take a used car in exchange. So in that used car exchange, we were losing a lot of money. So we decided that let's start a different organization with a different name, and we get into the used car segment as well with a showroom, because used car would need a showroom and infrastructure as well. So that's how Big Boy Toys came into the picture. And Big Boy Toys was never our primary business. It was always a secondary business. And eventually you see this is the only business and the biggest business we have now. So so that's how things change. Not everything you plan for yourself. So you eventually reach there, but there's always a learning curve and directions change and you streamline yourself. So that's how it happens.
Yeah, there are always twists and turns along the way, and you need to be able to take those turns. So that's awesome. That's very inspirational to hear your story. That's pretty cool. So since you spoke about the S-Class and how you ticked off that of your bucket list, and that was the top of your bucket list, I know BBT has dealt in some amazing, fantastic, exotic cars like Lamborghinis, Ferraris, etc. So any of those were on your list, and what is the feeling like to maybe check them off as well?
नहीं यार, इतनी कभी हैसियत ही नहीं हुई हमारी कि हम सोच सके कि लैम्बोर्गिनी या फरारी कभी लिस्ट पे आएगी. नहीं, never. It was never like that. And I'll be very honest, and I always give the right opinions. So कभी सोचा ही नहीं था जिंदगी में कि अभी लैम्बो में बैठ भी पाएंगे. So खरीदना तो बहुत दूर की बात है. तो eventually होता गया ऐसा.
ठीक है, fair enough. So next, my question is, what is next in the BBT story? Like, where are you going? What's the next big move? Maybe a big announcement. What's happening in the future? What's in the pipeline? Maybe give us a bit of an idea of that.
So next is we're opening up Kolkata. We're opening up a office. First time we'll be opening up an office in a different city or a state. So that's on the agenda, on the radar in the next 2 months. Next year we're opening Gujarat. And the whole idea right now is towards strengthening the organization and taking the organization to a 5-time fold is the target. So whatever business we are doing, My target is to grow it to 5 times in the next 2 to 3 years, no matter how I do it. So all my time during the lockdown or the last probably 1 quarter, my focus is towards how do we reach there, because this is an inorganic growth and it would not come just like that.
Hmm.
So what do we do that we get this kind of a growth? And a lot of times we have taken multifold growths of 2 times and 3 times in the past as well. So what will be the next big thing which we can do wherein we grow multifolds is the focus. Yeah, because the team is ready, the infrastructure is ready. The team and infrastructure is ready to take the load up to about 1,000 crores, is no stress at all. But we're not there. So our focus is first to reach towards 1,000 crores and then carve a vision after 1,000. Because जब तक आप 1,000 तक नहीं पहुंचोगे, उसके बाद की विजन अगर आप अभी बात करोगे तो मजाक लगेगा. पहले वहां तक पहुंचे और जल्दी पहुंचे, अब पेशेंस नहीं बची है. So we want to be there, yeah, because if you're doing something, अगर वो और बहुत अच्छे से आप नहीं कर सकते हो तो कैसे कैसे काम चलेगा. मतलब my opinion to everyone, all the enthusiasts and the kids who are listening to this interview, so what my dad has taught me is, guys, अगर आप जिस टाइम पे जो काम कर रहे हैं, अगर आप वो काम अच्छे से नहीं कर सकते तो आप कभी भी जिंदगी में कोई भी काम अच्छे से नहीं कर पाएंगे. So always do your best in whatever you're doing right now. That's a strong recommendation from my side.
That makes absolute sense. Yeah. So just to give our viewers a little bit of a perspective on the current reach of Big Boy Toys, can you give us an idea of where your showrooms are positioned right now, how many you have in which cities, etc.?
So essentially, we've been doing business pan India for the last 10 years, but we were always concentrated towards North. Our showrooms were always in North, but let's say I'll give you an example of last year. Last year, we did not have any showroom in South, but my South is as big as my North, because now people don't come to Big Boy Toys to see cars. So what they do is they go to the website, they pick up a phone call, they close a transaction with us, money is transferred and the car is loaded towards their city. And it's a clear communication. If you don't like the car on the quality or any such thing, just return the car back here. And we've not received a single car back. So that's the trust we have. 50% of our customers don't even come and see the cars because they know the quality we deliver. Yeah. And quality के लिए हम जान भी देने के लिए तैयार हैं. That's the philosophy of the organization.
Okay.
No matter what, if I'm making 2 lakhs on a car and if in case I have to give 20 lakhs worth of services to the customer also, we would not even give it a second thought. Yeah. So the most important person or the most important thing or the agenda for Big Boy Toys is our customer satisfaction or our client. So that has given us good results. Now we've opened with Hyderabad, last showroom which we've opened 4 months back. So I think our South will probably strengthen even further.
You have the big showroom in Gurgaon, the 35,000 square foot one, right?
Yeah. So that's our headquarters and our quality control center is what you will say. So we have a workshop as well, which is a separate entity. And we have our showroom as well. So the most important thing in this business is quality control. So the quality control happens from Gurgaon, and we have showrooms. So we have one showroom in Bombay, which takes care of the western region. We have one more showroom, which takes care of the southern region. Yeah.
And there's one in Delhi as well, right?
One in Delhi, but we've shut the Delhi showroom and we've opened Hyderabad.
Okay.
Because for the north, one showroom is enough. So we have 100 car parks in the headquarters. So that is good enough for us. And MG Road, our showroom which was there, we were present on the MG Road for almost 10 years. And we decided because your number of sales, it doesn't depend on how many showrooms you have.
Right,
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
As you explained.
Both of them almost 9-10 kilometers from each other. So the customers definitely come, and most of the customers don't even come. So yeah,
that makes sense. Okay, cool. So my next question is about the Indian four-wheeler, luxury four-wheeler space, because you have such a unique perspective on how the industry works, doing what you do, and the fact that you're like the only big name in that space. So I was wondering, in the pre-owned luxury car space, is there a specific brand or a specific model that has kind of stood head and shoulders above the rest? Maybe one or two, maybe that are doing better than anything else that you see the most trade off.
So you're talking about the product or you're talking about the brand?
Give me a perspective on both.
I've never seen it towards a brand, but I've always seen it towards a product. So like an S-Class is always a legendary product.
Of course.
And the numbers which S-Class has been doing, no other brand has been able to match those kind of numbers.
Right.
So that goes for the sedan. And if you look at SUV, what Range Rover has been doing, no one
Hmm.
has been able to match what a Range Rover has been doing. So
Hmm.
a Range Rover, if a Range Rover try to manufacture a sedan, they can't compete with the S class.
Of
And if
course.
Mercedes try and manufactures an SUV, they would never be able to do what a Range Rover is doing, because Range
Hmm.
Rover is doing that thing for the last 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
And Mercedes has been doing it for the last 20, 30, 40 years.
Hmm.
So these are two legendary products which are always in demand, and we're always open to a couple of dozen of those. Yeah. So if you will give me for Range Rovers, we always have a demand shortfall. We always have a supply shortfall.
Okay.
Demand is always yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Range Rover and S Class. Cool.
Yeah.
So, my next question is about, since you mentioned the Range Rover, there has been this global trend that's moving towards SUVs. A lot of people are demanding, SUVs of late. It just seems to be a thing. Manufacturers are making a ton of different variants of SUVs and different styles of SUVs. It just seems to be, a route that the world in by and large is going down. Has that pattern trickled down to your space as well? Is it something that you notice as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. So SUVs are great in demand. Earlier, it used to be 10 years back, SUVs were not considered, means the number of SUVs sold were not that great. But
Yeah.
now, first the SUV and then the sedan. So someone who's driving an SUV prefers a SUV only,
Hmm.
not a sedan, because
Right.
the kind of headroom, the kind of
Yeah.
space inside, the kind of comfort which is there. And if you have to travel outside Delhi, long route, so you prefer SUVs only.
Makes sense. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
because I read that the Land Rover and the Porsche Cayenne, for example, are some of the more popular luxury car models in India. So I was just wondering whether that translates to the pre-owned space as well. So yeah, that was an interesting perspective.
We know that once when the Cayenne came into the picture, the Porsche numbers grew multi-folds. Yeah.
Yeah,
So after the SUV, and even for Lamborghini right now, you can see the numbers. Yeah.
with Euros. Yeah.
Even for Rolls-Royce numbers after the Cullinan
Hmm.
is different. So
Yeah.
SUV definitely is a space, and it's a different requirement. So SUV is more towards the utility side of the business. Yeah.
Hmm. So, and last question of the day. I know for a fact that you have a very rich celebrity clientele as well. There are some famous sports persons, famous, business tycoons who've come and given you their business. Is there an encounter or a story maybe of any of these celebrities that kind of maybe stands out to you?
Yes, we have a lot of celebrities we've given cars to. Half of the Indian cricket team is using cars which have been given by Big Boy Toys. I'm talking about the mainstream cricket team.
Yeah,
Otherwise, there are a lot of cricketers.
of course.
So I'm talking about the Indian cricket team
Hmm.
and a lot of celebrities as well. So let me give you a perspective. About last year, we sold a Range Rover SVR.
Hmm.
Let me not name that. So he's a cricketer
Okay.
and a very renowned cricketer. So this car was just about 2 months old,
Hmm.
and it was a Sport SVR,
Yeah.
and the white color car, just done about 1800 2000 kilometers on it.
Okay.
So after the car was sold, it was a very quick transaction. After the car was sold, morning we decided, evening the car was sold, everything was done. So the car had to go to somewhere in the south. So we get a call from our client that what you do is you paint the car black. It was a white car, just done
Hmm.
about 1800 kilometers, 2 3 months old, maybe 4 months old, and you paint the full thing, just strip up the whole car and paint it to black.
Hmm.
So I was like, are you sure that you want to paint a brand new sort of a car?
Yeah.
I was not convinced. So he's like, I want everything black, with wheels black, car black, the logos black. I want a full black edition out of it.
Okay.
I was like, okay, we'll do it. So that was the last. That was last 1 year. If I was there, probably I would not do it. But
Of course.
after looking at the car, when I saw the black car, it
Hmm.
was actually standing out of the crowd. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
I'm sure
thought
it
it's
was.
a good decision after looking at the car when it was done. But I was pretty hesitant and nervous about painting a full car, stripping. You have to strip the whole car to paint it.
Yeah.
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 If you have to change the color, so
Hmm.
you have to strip everything up and then reassemble the whole car. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we did it, and the outcome was fantastic. And now I understand why he got it done. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess when you buy the car, you can do whatever the hell you want. It doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks. So, yeah, great,
Absolutely.
awesome. Thank you so much, Jatin. It's been amazing talking to you today. This was a really fun conversation, and I hope that viewers enjoy this as much as I did, and I hope that you did as well. So, thank you so much for joining us, and it's been great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Wish you all the very best.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks.